New episode to learn with IGP, and the webinar number is 635, and the good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Institution of Global Professionals International Free Webinar. And please stay with us till the end. My dear lovely participants, once again, I'm your host for this morning session, myself, Nasra and Information. I'm associated with IGP as a global leader. I feel honored and privileged to host this webinar. And it's an international free webinar. So, dear participants, thank you once again for joining with us. Share to all of you, please stay with us till the end. Each time you can give a react and mention your friends in our comment box. At least mention your 5 friends in the comments. Many takeaways and payoffs from this webinar. Okay, so let's learn and grow together. Please, not holding it. Yes, and you can also share this webinar on Facebook groups, your time, and all the social media you're using. Yes, dear participants. So, okay, we have right now Sir Alex Xavier Alvarez join with us. Thank you, sir. Good morning. We have Ma'am Isaiah. Hello, good day. She's from Philippines. Now, evening to TV. Okay, now, okay, Evelyn Joy Pablo. Yes, we have Sir Dennis Serso. Good afternoon, good afternoon. Yes. Okay, then we have Ma'am Janeline Bohal joined with us. Ma'am Janeline Rivera, Ma'am Carmela Behane, Ma'am Christine, Sir John Kinney, okay, Ma'am May Benoit, okay, Sir Liani, Ma'am Rosie, your source, Sir Malayan, Sir Ellen, we have so many participants who have right now joined with us from Facebook and YouTube. So thank you everyone for joining with us, and please share these so that if more participants here and they can also learn with IGP, because it's a great learning platform for all of you. Now I'm going to share a little concept about IGP because it's very important to know institution of global professionals. IGP serves student and community resource providing holistic social work and education to create a proficient generation. IGP is a leading on skill development worldwide. We make it able to use for every knowledge seeker to originate personality, more ambitious, be confident to face any circumstance and develop their own skills. First click. So, Institute of Global Professionals is an educational institution provides social work. We believe that it's not effective to informal actions. IGP is a total non-profit International Educational Institute. Yes, as our webinar, online offline courses by best and trained speakers all over the world to create a best learning platform for all of you. Also, believe and we provide effective training and consultation to generate professional generation. Empower people, our youth to make ourselves best and day by day to grow ourselves perfect. It's not perfect. It's like make ourselves in a great process to become a good person. Yes. We have successfully completed our, I've already shared with you, 634 webinar. Topic is information and data literacy for inquiry-based learning. So we are going to learn so many things from. So dear participants, let's start our program with our GP's mantra, that is speed your skills. And you can also comment in our comment box with hashtag feed your skills. Also, don't forget to tag, share, and mention your friends in our comment box. And today we have our honorable speaker from Philippines, Sir Arnold Ryan Yumarcato. Okay, so let's welcome our honorable speaker with the virtual round of applause.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for our host, for our very energetic host. And for today, we're going to learn, share, and grow together with a new set of knowledge. So allow me to share first my presentation material. All right. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all the viewers and participants for this session or topic. So our topic for today is all about information and data literacy for inquiry-based learning. So let me introduce this topic with a simple meaning. Again, this topic is one of the key changes over the last decade that has been the rapid growth of electronic sources of information and their ability to give completion to our learners. So, these changes on what we are telling information and data literacy for inquiry based learning is another has another term of what we call e-literacy or electronic literacy as a subset of information and literacy, and define it as the ability to access, to use, to manage, and to create information in an electronic environment, and to use the electronic networks to access the resources, to create resources, and to communicate with others. It could be argued that much of the information literacy is reflecting the electronic literacy as much as the more traditional notions of the information literacy. So therefore, my dear participants, when we say data literacy, it describes as the ability to read, ability to work with analyzation and argue with with the data, engaging people so that their actions and decisions drive better decisions making for the organization or for the school or for the educational environment. It's also referring to having the ability to read, to write, to communicate, data in context, including an understanding of data sources and to construct and to create analytical methods and techniques applied, and the ability to use and to apply the value. Using the data effectively, it can make different outcomes. And of course, understanding what the data means, including how to read the charts, drawing correct conclusions, and recognizing when data is used, is really important in this session. So let's proceed with the next slide. So welcome to my topic for today, which is all about information and data literacy for inquiry-based learning. Of course, this session has the following objectives. This session aims to develop the information and data literacy skills of our dear STEM teachers, particularly the application of such skills in inquiry-based learning. And our agenda are the following: define information and data literacy, appreciate the importance in information and data literacy, evaluate information and digital content using a set of criteria, identify essential features of inquiry-based learning, and relate information and data literacy skills to STEM practices, and apply information and data literacy skills in inquiry-based learning. And last one is design an inquiry-based learning activity if we can have enough time to perform this. So for the introduction, here's a simple information. Every second, there's about of 94,000 Google searches, 91,000 YouTube videos viewed, and 3 million emails sent. So see, that's a very vast amount of, or a very large figure of information that we can get from the internet. Therefore, there are 74 million by the year 2021 internet users. In our country, 48 million internet users. Recent data has also shown that in the Asia Pacific region, we Filipinos spend the longest time online, averaging 10 hours and 56 minutes each day. So, for the latest data, as of April 2022, there were 5 billion internet users worldwide, which is 63% of the global population, which comprises 4.65 billion were social media users. By now, it is not impossible to imagine the world without internet. Connecting billions of people worldwide, the internet is a core pillar of the modern information society. The global internet penetration rate is 62.5% in the Northern Europe, ranking first with a 98% internet penetration rate among the population. The countries with the highest internet penetration, like the UAE or the United Arab Emirates, the Denmark, and the Ireland. At the opposite end of the spectrum is the North Korea with virtually no online usage penetration among the general population, ranking last worldwide. As of 2021, Asia was the region with the largest number of the online users, over 2.8 billion at the latest count, and Europe was the second rank, which has 744 million internet users. So which country has the highest number of internet users? So my dear participants, China, India, and the United States rank ahead of all the other countries in terms of internet users. As of February 2022, China had more than a billion internet users, and India had approximately 658 million online users. Both countries still have large parts of the population that are offline. So on my next slide, here in our country, based on the study on January 2021, there is 73.91 million, which is the total number of internet users in any device. Can be mobile phones, tablets, desktops, and there is 67% of internet users as a percentage of the total population, and there is plus or positive 6.1%, which is more than 4.2 million annual change in the number of internet users. Then, in our country, we Filipinos has the average of using the internet or to spend the internet usage of 10 hours and 56 minutes. And of course, 96.5 percentage of users accessing the internet with via mobile devices. And of course, additional information, there is 10 hours 56 minutes time spent, 3 hours and 30 minutes time spent watching television now, both broadcasting and streaming, and there is 4 hours and 15 minutes time spent using the social media, and of course 1 hour and 12 minutes time spent reading the press media. It can be an online and physical print, and 2 hours and 15 minutes time spent listening to music streaming services, and 47 minutes time spent listening to broadcast radio, and 43 minutes time spent listening to podcasts, and 1 hour and 31 minutes time spent playing video games on a game console. And another information, there is 99.4% watchers on online videos, 83% watching the blogs, 82.2% listening to music streaming services, 49.9% listening to online radio stations, and 39.1% listening to or watching to podcasts. So those figures is really present in our country. Now, let's have a simple pause and reflect. Think about how you spend your time online. Which digital platforms or websites do you frequently use? Then, what are your reasons for choosing those platform or websites? We educators in the field of education, we create or we maximize or we use different platforms or websites in order to deliver the quality of education for all. And of course, as teachers, we are very innovative and very creative. Now, what is information and data literacy? Of course, the purpose of information is not knowledge. It is being able to take the right action. That's according to Peter Drucker. And of course, the information and data literacy is the ability to search, filter, evaluate, and manage information and data in digital environments. Data literacy is the ability to read, to understand, to create, and communicate data as information. Much like literacy as a general concept, data literacy focuses on the competencies involved in working with data. However, this is not similar to ability to read text, since data literacy requires certain skills involving reading and understanding data. Data literacy is the ability to read, to write, and communicate data in context with understanding of the data sources and constructs analytical methods and techniques to apply and the ability to describe the use of its application. So therefore, which more developed information and data literacy teachers will be able to? First, of course, we teachers are searching and analyzing curricular standards and frameworks relevant to the local context based on our place. And of course, we decide on teaching resources that can support effective implementation of the curriculum. Therefore, we are focused with the use of proper um, instructional materials and additional supporting educational materials that can we give to our learners to deliver the quality education, and of course to improve their mastery of content. Another, explore diverse approaches, methods and tools for assessment of learning outcomes, and to broaden understanding of learning environments that facilitate student learning. And last one, find communities of practice that can ensure personal growth and continuous professional development. So these tasks are really the habit of our teachers and educators in using the internet. We are in line with finding instructional materials that can help our learners. We are exploring, we are broadening our understanding, and we are joining some educational communities that can help us to grow and learn together. Like for example, the Institute of Global Professionals. This is one example of a information and data literacy group wherein it helps us to grow together. So let's talk about the indicators of the information and data literacy. So on my next slide, these are the indicators of information and data literacy, which involves finding, evaluating, and managing information or on the data or the digital content. First is the articulate the specific information needs. In terms of articulating the specific information needed in order to begin an academic inquiry and to avoid information overload, we teachers are a kind of person should be proficient in identifying the pillars in what kind of information we need. For example, the new information and data is constantly being produced and that there is always more to learn. Another, that being information literate involves developing a learning habit to the new information so it can sort at all times. Then another, the idea and the opportunities are created by investigating and seeking information. And another, the skill of the word of published and unpublished information and data, which are it's help us to able to identify the lack of knowledge in a certain field or subject area. Another is to search topic and questions and define it using a simple terminology. Another, to articulate current knowledge on a topic, recognize a need for the information and data to achieve a specific and define limits to the information needed. And of course, use background information to underpin the search and to take personal and responsibility for an information search and manage time effectively to complete a search. Another is the search for the data, the information, and the content in digital environments. Of course, digital literacy is about finding, evaluating, using, and creating digital content in meaningful and responsible ways. It requires thinking skills and technical skills and abilities. You can use a range of strategies to develop digital literacy in our schools or in your own schools. Finding information is an important component of digital literacy. Finding digital content that is meaningful is about employing various search strategies that helps source quality information. Another, using multiple search engines to challenge personal filter bubbles. And another, using written, visual, and audio resources to navigate information in a variety of modes. And of course, collecting a range of information that can then be evaluated to meet our requirements for our schools. Another is to create and update personal search and strategies. In this part, it is important to map out how will you go as a teacher, as an educator, to go about searching li- electronic library databases, the library catalog, or even search engines like the Google Scholar for research materials on a specific topic in prior to beginning your research. Another, now let me give some important steps to create a search strategy. First, summarize your topic. Another, identify the main concepts, which is all about the keywords, the important keywords. Another, identify the synonyms, the alternating words, and other related words. And another, try different combination of keywords. With these strategies, with these um, procedures that I gave to you, it may help you a lot to create and update personal search strategies. Another, adapt search strategies based on the quality of information found. Of course, as an educator, a search strategy is an organized structure of the key terms to search a database. The search strategy combines the key concepts of your search question in order to retrieve or to get accurate results. Of course, in searching different kinds of topics, I'll give another set of strategies. For example, you ready the possible search terms, the keywords, the phrases, the trunc- truncated and the wildcard variations of the search terms, and of course, the subject headings. Each database works differently, so you need to adapt your search strategy for a certain database. You may wish to develop another separate search strategies if your research covers several different areas. It is also a good idea, my dear participants, that your strategies should be refined in order to review the search results. And of course, the analyzing and comparing and critically evaluate the credibility and reliability of the sources of data, the information, and the digital content. Of course, the credibility is really important. The reliability are are really important, especially when we are doing some works in journalism. The value is almost the same, but these are really important. It doesn't mean that it reflects the truth, but it needs to be forcefully information that cannot be denied by the source itself. If we are talking about something less disputable, like economy statistics for a period or the ruling of a court or something, we should be we should not practice the bias. Bias is the trickiest, um, because it's absolutely everything that walks or crawled at one time or another. Of course, it's bias. It's impossible not to be good. The good journalists, of course, are trained to challenge their own biases when pursuing a certain story, as well as considering different points of view to ensure that the article will not miss relevant aspects. Another is the organizing, the storing, and retrieving informations and content in digital environments. Of course, my dear participants, their responsibility to be honest in all aspects of information, in handling and dissemination of information, like for example, copywriting, plagiarism, and intellectual property uses. And of course, the issues. Another, they need to adapt on a data handling methods, the role they play in helping others in the information seeking and management. Another, they need to keep systematic records, the importance of storing and sharing information and data ethically, and of course, the role of professionals such as data managers. So those are really important. And of course, it can be also a librarian for the teachers who can advise, assist, and support with all aspects of information management. And of course, by citing the information by reference management softwares, we can also perform that, or we can maximize using the reference management softwares. And of course, cited printed electronic sources which are suitable for reference styling. And of course, creating approximately formatted bibliographies. Those are really important. And of course, we teachers as and educators, we should demonstrate awareness of issues relating to the rights of others, including the ethics, the data protection, the copywriting, the plagiarism, and other intellectual property issues. Of course, we need to meet the standards of conduct for academic integrity. And of course, the last one is using the appropriate data management softwares. And of course, the last one is the organize and process information in structured environment. In organizing information systems, of course, we should perform it. It may affect the design of information systems, and an organization must be open itself to the influences of the information system in order to be more fully benefit from the new technologies. The organization's environment, the culture, the structure, the standard, the operations, the procedures, the management decisions are mediating factors that influence the interaction between the information technology and the organization. So again, my dear participants, we should take note of this because these are all important part of our discussion. So let me introduce to you what is the civic online reasoning or the COR approach. All right, the civic online reasoning program is an educational initiative through the Stanford History Education Group that produces exercises and assessments for their learners or students on how to judge the credibility of an online content. It is also helping them to develop some rubrics or criteria that can be used to access student performances. Young people and most of us get our information through our digital devices. This overabundance of information can be overwhelming to all of us. If we can find trustworthy information, our democracy is at risk. Remember, the current approaches to digital literacy, especially outdated and lengthy lists of questions that appear on subject lists, often don't work. People are fooled by sleek modern website designs, content without spelling errors, pages without banner ads, sites that hide their real authors, and about pages where groups spins whatever tale they want to tell about themselves. All of these features can be easily manipulated and distorted, of course. So, of course, as a teacher, as a personnel in the field of education, as an educator, we should perform critical thinking in terms of our information that we will give to our learners. So that's how the civic online reasoning comes in. Of course, this practice by the Stanford History Education Group by 2014, it was conducted by within 18 months, and of course, they started with the middle school group until they reached the college group, the college students or the college students group. And based on their study, it was a success because they observed that these learners learn how to be a professional fact checkers and how to evaluate digital sources. Being a fact checker, employ the strategy that we call lateral reading. So this lateral reading, later I'll be explaining to all of you, my dear participants, what is lateral reading. Students, on the other hand, of course, they don't waste browsing, they don't waste their time in on browsing the different websites because they know how to perform lateral reading. So therefore, this approach is based on what experts do to determine the quality of information. It is just like distilling or filtering the different kinds of information that they need and in has the connection with the certain topic that they are searching over the internet. So therefore, the civic online reasoning approach is driven by three primary questions. First is who? Who is behind the information? Another, what is the evidence? Last one, what do other sources say? So let's continue. Let's let's start with investigating the source of information. Now let's talk about the lateral reading. This is what I already told earlier. So therefore, lateral reading is basically searching for the information about a source while you are reading it. Of course, when we are trying to search for something, like for example, we search for education, then there's a lot of websites that a, a Google tab gives to us. Therefore, we don't know what kind of website that we are entering. Some of us are clicking the highest the highest result based from the website. Then we are just staying on that kind of website. That is a malpractice because as an educator, as a teacher in the field of education, we should perform lateral reading. So how can we perform the lateral reading? This is different from vertical reading where you apply the CRAP method using only the information the site itself provides you. The concept of lateral reading originated from the Stanford History Education Group. Therefore, so how to read laterally? Of course, here's the simple steps. First, open lots of tabs in your browser. So when you search for the word, like for example, education, when we enter the characters education, there's a lot of websites. Now, based on its based on its definition or the label, you click the important websites by simply clicking the right part of your mouse, then open it in a new tab. You do that on the different websites that you are trying to enter. Then, of course, get off the site you are on. Then, do a deliberate Google search for the source of information you are evaluating. Then, you read what trusted and reliable sources are you um, are you in line with the site or claim. Try to find four or five other sources that discuss your source. Then make a simple comparison. If you can't find that many, that's a sign that your source might not be good. All right? That's a simple indicator. If you cannot find many websites on your word that you are trying to search. Therefore, that's a sign that your source might not be good. Now, the easiest way to understand lateral reading, my dear participants, is to click on the tab, then perform a lateral reading in action. With that way, you can distill, you can filter the important information that you need and very relevant to your certain topic. For us teachers, that's really important, the lateral reading method, because when we are trying to find different websites that can be used for our supplementary materials in learning, for educating our learners, it's really hard for us to get a trusted website. With the help of lateral reading, this will be an easy one for us. Of course, these are the common misconceptions in evaluating information on a digital content. First is evaluating the reliability of a site based on its top level domain. For example, you've just seen a website that ends with org, .com, .edu. It doesn't mean that the certain website that you are browsing is a reliable one. Another, evaluating a site based on its appearance, putting too much weight on whether a site looks professional. So when you open a tab, then it looks beautiful. It's very nice to your eyes. Then you are telling to yourself, I love this website. Therefore, I will get my information. I'll get the needed information here in this website. Again, my dear participants, appearance is not a basis for a reliable and trusted tab or website for your search. Another, relying only on what the about page says about the author or sponsor organization. So the credits or the information on the website is not enough for us to trust the website. All right? Another, evaluating whether a site has ads, believing the sites with ads are less reliable than sites with ads. Some people thought that, oh, again, there's another ad in this website. So many browsers or social media users, they're avoiding those sites because for them it consumes a lot of their time. So therefore they are shifting to less ads of websites. My dear participants, it doesn't mean with more websites or less websites are reliable. It has not something to do with the ads. Another, discounting a site because it has a donate button. So sometimes we are entering with some websites that has a donate button. So it doesn't mean that website is reliable. All right, let's continue. Now, these are the guide questions for evaluating sources of information. First, what person or organization sponsored the website or created the information? So you just need to ask it every now and then. Another, who is the author? What is the author's perspective? Because if you can see the name of the author on the website, then you background check him or her, then know the perspective of the author, then what kind of information does the author wants to provide to us. Another guide question is, what might the organization or the author's motivation be for presenting this information? So by reading the text on a certain website or a certain blog, therefore what kind of information he or she wants to convey. Another, based on the previous questions, how reliable is the information? Why might it be reliable? Why might it be less reliable? So you use these questions, these guide questions, for evaluating the sources of information or the website that you are trying to enter or browsing, because these guide questions will help you a lot in getting the right information that we need in supplying the the right information for supplementary materials for our learners or for our students. Okay, first is the criteria for evaluating the evidence. There's a foundation, the LAMAP or the Lamain Alapaite uh, Pate LAMAP Foundation, a foundation established by the French National Academy of Science to improve the quality of science and technology teaching, has developed a scientific and critical thinking education program that focuses on developing the ability to evaluate information. So this program has identified 5 criteria to evaluate the evidences. Okay, the first criterion is concerned with the reliability of the source of evidence, while the other 4 is all about dealing with the quality of evidence. So let's now proceed with the criteria. And let's start with the reliability of the source of evidence. First, reliability of the source. The source guarantees expertise and benevolence. Expertise may be indicated by the field of specialization, proof of advance, the knowledge, the scientific reputation based on objective recognition or publication in scientific journals. On the other hand, my dear participants, benevolence means the source does not have private interest or personal agenda that motivate the claims being made. A reliable source, my dear participants, is one that provides a thorough, well-reasoned theory, argument, discussions based on strong evidence. Now, let me give some 5 ways to help you to identify a reliable source. First, do you recognize the source? Of course, name recognition is often the first thing to consider to determine reliability. If the name of the source is familiar, you may tend to believe the information. If you have never heard of the source, you probably should do some research to learn about it. All right? If you are not, if you have some doubt in browsing the said website, make a research first on that website that you are trying to enter before you enter or browse it. Okay? Another, do you feel unsure about the accuracy of the information? When you read a statement, how does it make you feel? Have you said to yourself, really? Okay, check in with your gut. Intuition can help you discern reliable information. Is the argument extreme, or does the article or the blog feel balanced and include diverse perspectives? Does the content seem old and not up to date? Are the writers or the speakers making statements without making attribution? Be, be, be vary on the use of the absolute words like all, everything, none, or only. Look for the phrases like research shows, followed by the indication of a reference. That is more reliable, my dear participants. Another, would you share the source with your manager or colleague or cite it in a paper for a class? If your job depends on the information, would you present it? What if your grade for the course you are taking depends on your paper you are writing on the presentation you are you are giving? While you may think the information is reliable, would you go a step further and endorse that information? Of course, when we find some information that is reliable and helpful to us, we are trying to share this in our colleagues and other educational partners. But sometimes, before you share it, make a simple research based on it, based on the website that you are sharing. Then, if the website or the link is reliable, then share it to other communities or to other people. Another, is the source used elsewhere by the other reputable people. Search for Search to determine whether the information you want to use has been used by someone else. Has it been cited in a academic journal? Is there a professor behind it or a highly um, regarded expert on television using the information? Therefore, perform a cross-checking to see if the information has been deemed accurate by the others. Okay? Determination of reliability involves judgment. The more you examine information, the more you will flex your judgment and get better at distinguishing the reliable from the bogus information. Okay? Another, how close is the essential to the primary source? The closer you are to the source of information, the more reliable the information. Mhm. The further you are away from the source, the more opinion and interpretation there will be, which can stray you from the truth. Another criteria for evaluating evidence, which is plausibility. So plausibility, it shows that the evidence put forward seems believable, okay? Should be believable and consistent with what is known. However, if prior knowledge is limited or the topic is beyond the area of expertise, then it's best to focus on the other criteria for evaluating quality of evidences. So another criteria for evaluating evidence is the relevance. So the evidence supports the claim. The arguments being used are the logical and directly related to the claim or hypothesis. Information is relevant which helps you to answer your questions or the research questions. Therefore, you are assessing the information on the basis of format, content, and the degree of up-to-dateness. Some questions that you can ask to yourself is, does the information answer my research question? If it answers the research question, therefore, it's a reliable and a relevant site for your research or for your question. Another, are the quality and the level of the information appropriate to the research question and the aim of the research or or what you are trying to search? If you are conducting academic research in and of course you need reliable sites and relevant sites. Therefore, use this criterion relevance to check if you are on the right track of what you are doing. Okay? How complete is the information you have found? Is it complete? Are you sure that you haven't overlooked or any relevant information? Have you considered all points of view? Although being comprehensive is usually not possible, and at this stage in your academic career, not strictly necessary, you should always try to be as complete as possible in the literature you are using for your research. Exact characters, exact keywords, it will help you a lot in finding the right of information. Another criterion is what we call accuracy. So the evidence is derived from the rigorous methods such as experiments. There is a proof for precise observations, detailed descriptions, or objective measurements. Accuracy, it helps us to assess how reliable the information is. You can use these questions, for example, is there sufficient evidence to back to the author's claim? Do the arguments or assertions stem from fact-based and logical analysis? Can the information be verified by the other reputable sources? Make sure that the author cited his sources so you can evaluate their merit. Let's practice, my dear educators, my dear participants, when we are using some thesis, for example, a thesis downloaded from internet, and the author of the thesis cited his references at the end of his work, you try to click the website or copy the link that he or she gave, then try to search it. If it is reliable and working, and with that, you can know that your work is in the right path and you have the accuracy or the accurateness of what you are doing. It's, also, it helps you not to put your work into waste. You consider the quality of the writing itself also, the punctuations, the spelling and grammatical errors. We should also observe it. Okay? Another is convergence. Of course, the convergence is observations that are being cited are consistent or consistent or coherent. They are based on multiple observations that converge towards the same conclusion of the different one, independent observers, but they are able to generate similar results. Finding better information online. Of course, you have identified links in your search results that you are most likely to open. Now, I'll give you seven ways to find what you want on the internet. When you gather the information, what you need, discarding what you don't. First, vary your search engine. Search engines sort through about 240 million active websites. For example, if I will try to search for the word education, there are 240 active websites that the browser can give to me. Let's say, for example, I try to open my browser, Google Chrome, then I try to enter the word on the search box, education. Google will give me more than 240 active websites. Again, there's no search engine which is not perfect. No search engine is perfect. And they all have different blind spots. The most widely used search engine, of course, is the Google, Bing, and Yahoo. Now, Google usually returns the greatest variety of results and has by far the largest catalog of pages. Bing, however, is more extensive autocomplete results. Yahoo offers search as part of the wider range of services that includes news and shopping. Other engines such as DuckDuckGo, Ecosha, and Dogpile also have their own devotees. Let me give a simple tip. You can perform more specific searches by using specialist search engines. For example, if you are trying to search some related studies for your thesis, I suggest Google Scholar for academic articles that might be hard for you to find in a general search. Google Scholar is one of the best browsers or sites that can be used for searching those related literatures. Another is the Wolfram Alpha, which is very useful when you need data and statistics. Okay? Then another tip. Here's the second one. Use specific keywords. Keywords are the terms that you use to find content on the internet. Making your keywords more specific, that will help your search engine to track down the information that you want. Say, for example, that you want to find a local supplier that can design an exhibition for your company, for example. Then you try to encode or type stand design into your search engine. The results will include many pages, more possible 240 million pages. Then now the question is, how can I make it more concise, more specific? Okay? So be creative on searching the right words or the proper keywords in connection with what you are trying to search. Another third tip: simplify your search terms. Some engines include stop words in their searches. When we are trying to search some websites, there are some indicators that, for example, for Google, there are, if it is cannot be found, there is a message for a certain website that there is no such word like this. So that's an indicator that there's something wrong with your keywords or the topic that you are trying to search on a certain website. Another, use quotation marks if ever. Enclosing a search term within a quotation mark prompts the search engine to search for that specific word or phrase. For example, education, put you include or put quotation mark, then education, then quotation mark. With that, you are specific searching for education. Okay? Then another, um, remove unhelpful words. So, inserting a hyphen, small dash, minus sign immediately before a word exclude it from a search. So imagine, for example, that you're looking to find out more about education. However, you want to concentrate on traditional teaching strategies, whereas the internet appears to be full of references to digital and social new normal ways of teaching. Therefore, you are trying to search for a vast kind of information. Okay? So another tip, refine your search using operators. Other characters or terms known as operators allow you to narrow down your internet search in more targeted ways. We explore a few. For example, use asterisk symbol as a placeholder for another word. Okay? For example, asterisk education. Then the results for it will give us the specific information. For example, asterisk man in the world. Then the browser will give us the richest man in the world. So there's a specific answer: the tallest man in the world, the oldest man in the world, and so on. So therefore, there's a wild card searches wherein you don't know the full text of a code. Okay? Then, of course, here's the last tip. Avoid search pitfalls. Okay? So those are my simple tips in finding better information online. Now let's proceed. Now, what is a domain name? So, domain name is, there are some websites that you click on right away. That's true because of their domain extension. It gives you a clue on the nature of that specific website. But my dear participants, I'll give you the five domain name which are really important for us teachers, educators, education implementers. So first, oh, that edu, that edu. This is a this is an important domain extension, means it is from an academic institution. All right. For example, www.edu. Yeah. Okay. Edu. Next, .gov implies a government agency. Okay. Another, .int, meaning that domain name is a special domain for intergovernmental organizations. Okay, another one, .com, the most common domain name, www.facebook.com. Okay, so it pertains to commercial sites. Then of course the last one is .org, .org, .org are supposed to be non-profit organizations. However, a domain extension of .org is not enough to give a clue on the nature of the website. You still have to read the snippet or the brief descriptor that you see in the search results. Or better, you open a new tab, then search the specific website with .org that you are trying to search. Okay, next. So here on my table here are the descriptions of a trustworthy domain extensions and example web pages. For example, an educational institution here .edu. For example, https://upd that's .edu.ph. Then another https www.mit.edu. Once you saw a domain name you saw a web page with domain name of .edu, it pertains to educational institution. .gov, a government website. www.deped.gov. So when we say DepEd, that is Department of Education here in our country in the Philippines. So therefore, that Department of Education belongs to a government website. Therefore, it should have a domain name of .gov. Then .int, international, special domain for intergovernmental organizations. For example, www.UNESCO, United Nations, .int, meaning international website. All right. Then when we encounter some .ac, .uk, or .ac, .jp that pertains to academia or second level domain for academic institutions, common in UK, United Kingdom, and JP, Japan. Okay. So for example, www.ucl.ac.uk IOE, www.utokyoacjp/en. So those are only examples of some websites that we may encounter in trying to search different materials, different supplementing materials to deliver the quality of education. All right, now let's proceed with the content curation. So in terms of content curation is the act of selecting, gathering, structuring, and distributing content from various sources over the internet. That is what we call content curation. Curated material is the such as best of. So those are the best of that you have collected based on the specific um, topic or specific subject that you are trying to search. Of course, there is someone master in this kind of content creation. Now, it's extremely important for us, teachers and educators, to bust this common content creation myth. The process is not a time-saving alternative content creation. Now, I'll give you 5 major steps for the content creation. So first, we have the assembly. So when we say assembly, gathering content for your audience or for your students that lies within your field and interests as readers. Another, selection. Selection, not all source content is relevant or share worthy enough. Here's where you set up filters and where the approved or disapproved example. Okay, another, categorization. So categorization, content comes in different formats including the blog posts, including infographics, ebooks, and the likes. It also goes with different distribution channels, for example, the social media, newsletters, blogs, and the likes. At this point, you decide which content will go where for optimal engagement. Okay? Another, commentary. The commentary, like I just discussed, curation is not copy pasting only. Okay? Instead, it's adding your take on the matter as well. All right. Then the last one, the last step for content curation is presentation. Okay. Presentation, giving the content you share a visual makeover. For instance, you share data that someone else has a churn out, but put in a graphic. Example, cost schedule took data from Cobins and Convert and put in into a graphic that represents their brand style. Now, what's the benefit of the content curation? There's a lot of benefit of content curation. Content curation is primarily a way to support a team or an organization, and especially our dear students or learners. It's coming up with original content to share on social media, especially during this time in the pandemic, wherein our learners are in the field of online education. If you're active on multiple social platforms, the pressure to provide regular content may mean the quality of your posts starts to suffer. Content curation maintains consistency for your brand. Other benefits includes, for example, efficient and cost-effective brand building. Curating content costs less than creating it. Okay? Another, thought leadership potential. So the right content demonstrates your knowledge and understanding of your topic or subject, and of course it increases your credibility as a teacher, as an educator, and as a leader of your colleagues. Another, maintain conversations with your audience. The more content you share, the easier it is to keep your customers or your clients or your learners to be engaged. Okay? Unlock networking opportunities. Of course, that's another benefit. Sharing others people content helps you to build relationships with those people. Curation is a great way to connect with influencers and future partners. For example, the Institute of Global Professionals, the IGP, they are they are connected with different resource speakers, experts around the world, and they are disseminating new set of knowledge which helps the different people in different fields learning and growing together. See, IGP is an example of content curation creator. Okay? Then of course last one is another benefit is it shows your selflessness. Curation demonstrates your learners or your other colleagues that you're not just interested in talking about yourself, but you are interested to different set of knowledge. Okay? Next, let's proceed. So these are some of the best curated STEM resources that I may share to all of you, my dear participants who are watching via YouTube and FB. So STEM Alive is a website, a series of educator training videos focused on STEM topics. You can visit that website soon. It will help you a lot for all science teachers, mathematics teachers, engineering teachers, the STEM teachers or STEAM teachers. The STEM Alive website is one of the best training videos for us teachers. Another, Smithsonian Science Education Center. This is a website wherein a collection of distance learning and digital resources. You try to visit that. That is a really exciting website wherein it can also help you a lot to find some digital resources for your learners. And here in our country, even though we are shifting to limited face-to-face, we can still use the Smithsonian Science Education Center website as our supplementary material for teaching. Another, the MIT Full Steam Ahead, another website, a collection of STEAM resources of K to 12 for K to 12 or higher education for our educators in college, state universities. You can use the MIT Full Steam Ahead, wherein it also focus with workforce learning. And of course, like what I mentioned earlier, the LAMAP Foundation, a French website, a a website for curriculum resources on inquiry-based learning. These these selected websites that I've shared to you help us learn, help me learn a lot to integrate my knowledge on different fields, and of course to integrate with my learners. Now, inquiry-based learning, STEM practices, and data literacy. We all know that inquiry-based learning is an education approach that focuses on investigation and problem solving. The inquiry-based learning is different from traditional approaches because it reverses the order of learning. Instead of presenting the information, the answer, the upfront, or the teachers start with a range of scenarios, questions, and problems for the students to navigate. Therefore, how does it help? Students learn key STEM and life skills through inquiry-based learning. There's also social interaction, exploration, which allows the students to investigate, design, imagine, and explore. Another, ex- argumentation and reasoning, of course, creates a safe and supportive environment for students to engage in discussion and debate. Another, positive attitudes to failure. Of course, the STEM problems means failure is an important part of the problem solving process. A healthy attitude to failure encourages reflection for our learners, their resilience, and of course, continual improvement. Okay, so I already mentioned the meaning of the inquiry-based learning, or the IDL, which develops students' understanding of the natural and the physical world. Through the IDL, students develop the skills of asking questions, gathering evidences, providing explanations from evidence, connecting evidences to scientific knowledge, and providing justification based on the patterns derived from the evidence. It is just like related to PBL, or the project-based learning, somehow a cousin of the IDL, because there's a there are many key features which almost the same with the project-based learning. So it can be implemented to our learners at the same time. Okay, now let us proceed with the essential features of inquiry. Of course, the question. Students pose a question. The evidences, students gather the evidences. The explanation, students construct explanations from the evidence. The connections, students connect the explanations to scientific knowledge and other resources. And the communication, wherein the students communicate and justify their explanations. The five features of science inquiry: of course, learner engage in scientifically oriented questions. Learners give priority to evidence in responding to questions. Learner formulates explanation from the evidences. Learners connect explanation to scientific knowledge, and learners communicate and justifies explanations. So this is an example of five essential features of inquiry. So let me just flash this on your screens. All right. So these five essential features of inquiry, like what I've told earlier, these are the indicators that a teacher should perform. There are features like, for example, teacher-centered, teacher-driven, teacher-guided, and the student-centered. Of course, our focus is the student-centered. Remember, my dear participants and teachers and educators, when we are on a classroom setup or in discussion, we only act as facilitators. Let us let us let the students perform alone, and we will just guide them in performing the said activities. STEM practices in inquiry-based learning. Of course, these practices improve STEM lessons with inquiry-based learning. I strongly believe that the inquiry-based learning improves STEM lessons around the world and significantly increases interest and understanding of the science and technology. Beyond that, the inquiry-based learning or the IBL learning encourages the application of knowledge, critical thinking, and the new ideas. Lessons that extend beyond the classroom. Okay? And can information and data literacy be connected to STEM practices? Of course. You try to ask this, asking questions and defining problems, developing and using models, planning and carrying out investigations, analyzing and interpreting data, using mathematical models and computational thinking, constructing and constructing explanations and designing solutions, engaging in arguments from evidences, obtaining, evaluating, and communication information. Now, let's talk about applying information and data literacy in inquiry-based learning. Just recall this. The 5 essential features: question, evidence, explanation, connection, and communication. And be guided with these guide questions. If you're trying to search for important information that you are trying to use for supplementary materials for your teaching, ask this. Is it relevant? Is it of good quality? Is it precise or detailed? Is it consistent and coherent? Is it produced from rigorous methods? Is the source reliable or trustworthy? Is the source unbiased? So with this, it will help us, of course, to be guided in filtering or distilling the right information to be shared with our learners. Of course, integrating the inquiry design learning. And to do this, let us map out with guide questions that are suitable for the different features of inquiry. The question, which is it relevant? Of course. The evidence, is it relevant, good quality, produced from rigorous methods, and so on. Is it unbiased? Explanation, is it good quality, precise and detailed, consistent and coherent? Is the connection, is it relevant, the source reliable or trustworthy? And of course, the communication. Now, how did you find the integration of information and data literacy guide questions in inquiry? Of course, those presented earlier are the guide questions that will help us a lot to practice lateral reading, content curation, in order to deliver inquiry-based learning to our dear students or learners. And of course, let's practice this as part of our daily teaching, because inquiry-based learning with integration of the ICT is one of the trends today, my dear participants. Therefore, let's start doing this and find more ways to curate our content for the benefit of our learners. And for my references, here are my references for this presentation. Thank you so much, my dear participants.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for sharing your relevant presentation and your knowledge with us, sir. We'll move to our quiz competition, and after the quiz, we come back with inner quiz session. So till then, please stay with us and enjoy our quiz session, sir.
All right, see you later. Thank you.
So dear participants, it's time for quiz. So don't forget to tag, share, and mention your friends in our comment box. And after this short video, we'll come back in our quiz. So once again, hello everyone in our quiz live quiz competition. Yeah, you can find the link in our comment box, or you can directly use the Slido app, or you can directly go to www.slido.com. The code is QuizIT. Before joining, use your full name because it will be printed in the winner certificates. And today, top 10 will be awarded with quiz completion certificates. Yes, participants, you have to wait till the end because we'll share the webinar code in our certification process. And that will be after the QA session. And right now we have 23 participants in our live quiz competition. So dear participants, please share this live quiz session in online so that your friends can get opportunity to participate here. Okay. Right now we have Magli and me. Okay, join with us. Ma'am Carmela Bihin, Ma'am Ria Fakula, Sir Alan H. Alan Huag Brothers. Okay. We have Ma'am Melinda Civil Hispano, Ma'am Joanna Paula, Sir Hazy Malayan, Sir Grace Siraco, Ma'am Rafi, Ma'am Joseph Yusuf, Sir Alex Xavier Alvarez, Ma'am Jacqueline Gassa. Okay. So thank you everyone for joining with us. Yes, we have Ma'am Melinda Civil Hispano, Ma'am Evelyn Perry, Ma'am Kiefer Rivera. Okay, we have Sir John Cedric, Ma'am Mary Rose V. Silagan, Ma'am Christina Rosario. Okay, Ma'am Hazy Malayan. Yes. Ma'am Kaya and me. So, dear participants, you can find the joining link in our comment box. And we have right now 41 participants who have joined with us quiz session, and we'll start our quiz within a minute. So everyone get ready and hurry up. Please mention your friends in the comment section. And today we have 10 questions for our quiz. Thank you, Sir JB Persia, for joining with us. Ma'am B. Silagan, Ma'am Jacqueline Abassa, Ma'am Emily Ambrikiyu. Okay. Okay, we have Sir Dave Regate. We have Cabezo Friends. So dear participants, get ready because we're going to start on live right now. Okay, so let's start. First is, what is data? Data is info that consists of raw measurements, may or may not be relevant. Or option number two, an explanation. That's the right answer. And the correct answer is option number one. Information that consists of raw measurements may or not be relevant. 99% of participants should answer. So here is our leaderboard. We have Ma'am Javelin Vilivera leading on top in first round, following Ma'am Charlene Kalahamaguchi, Ma'am Jeneline Borja. Okay, we have Sir Tabiso France and Ma'am Rosie Source. So congratulations. So let's see the next question. Question number two. Analyze assessment data that understand patterns and gaps in learning, guide planning and instruction. Option number one, 6 or number 7. Yes, the correct answer is option number one, and 80% is the correct answer. And we have Ma'am Cherlin Calhoun Maguchi placed first in second round, following Sir Tabiso France, Ma'am Jessa Estadero, Ma'am Jamelin Bin and Resource. And the time difference is a little, only 1 second difference. Okay, so let's proceed to next. By having scientific literacy, you will be able to what? Option number one, apply knowledge question or problems in your life, or to identify raw sources of scientific information. And the correct answer is option number one. 77% of our participants chose the correct answer. Okay, we have another new name in this round. First, okay, we have Sir Tabiso Frank, positive source, Ma'am Jamelin Rivera, and Nalinga Sivan Hispano, and Sir Alex Rivera. Here is our next question, question number 4. Which of the following types of memory is primarily increased by chunking information? Option number 1, long-term memory. Okay, so the time is up. Let's see the correct answer. And the right answer is option number 2, short-term memory. 97% of our participants choose the right answer. Here is our leader. Yes, and right now we have the please first. Okay. Calling Ma'am Joanna Paula, calling Ma'am Eugene, okay, Sean. Okay, then we have Ma'am Rina P and Sarah France. Okay, so let's proceed to next question, question number 5. Data collected using such scientific processes that describes a particular observation. Option number 1, empirical evidence, and option number 2, observation. Okay, so 75% of our participants choose first option. Empirical evidence, and 25% choose observation. Let's take the correct answer. Yes, and 75% of our participants got the correct answer. Here is our leaderboard name, and once again we have Ma'am Christina Vidal. She's leading on top. Okay, calling Ma'am Joanna Paulos, Madam Eugene, Madam Reno, and Sector Base of France. Let's see the next question. Which of the following is the most important component of scholarly learning? Option number one, knowing what to teach as well as what not to teach. Or option number two, students will start to make sense of the world. Okay, the 50-50, there is we have the answer. 50% choose the option number two, that is correct answer. Students understanding how to make sense of the world, and 50% of our participants got the wrong answer. So let's see the leaderboard. And we have Ma'am Christina Miguel Rosario still spot on first position, following Ma'am Kane. We have Ma'am Sir Chris Serato, following Sir Tabiso Friends, and finally Ma'am Rosario. So congratulations to our 50% of our participants. Okay, those answers are very good. Okay, moving to next question. It's question number 7. How is learning most optimized in the curriculum science? Option number 1, organizing learning experiences from the learner outward, or option number 2, making content relevant for the learners in the classroom. Alright, so only 41% of our participants got the correct answer, that is making content relevant for the learners in the classroom. Okay, so we have now Christina Vidal Rosario calling Service following Eugene Pishono. We have Carmela Behin and Marina Pimason. So let's see the next question. Evaluating observations and data to reach a conclusion and effort, analyzing or predicting. Correct answer is analyzing, and 87% of our participants choose the correct answer. So our leaderboard name, and there's no change. Zero and Christina Vidal Rosario leading on top in this round again. Onyx Alvesiato, Sabine Pashon, Carmela Behind, and Rina Stone. Moving to next question, question number 9. When structuring learning, the teacher should always start with what? Focused learning or outcomes? When structuring learning, the teacher should always start with focused learning outcomes. And the correct answer is outcomes. Okay, and 41% of participants got the correct answer. Okay, so here is our leaderboard name. Okay, we have Lino Bidin Rosario still now leading on top. Following Silvestiato, we have Rosie Resource, we have Jonah Paula, and okay, I'm confused. Sir Ukraine, main of the person, so I'm not going to mention again. So, dear participants, let's see our last question, question number 10. Communicating, interpreting data, enumerating and controlling variables is categories that should all be included in standard a list of theory process skills. So 50% of our participants choose option number one and 50% choose option number two. Let's see who's going to the correct answer. And the correct answer is a less incorrect. So 50% of our participants, those choose second option, they are right. So congratulations. Okay, so let's see our Rio de Rosario. Okay, we have Sir Grace Sirato, please second, and Jonah Paula, please third. Okay. Eugene Teshoma, please fourth, Lee is fifth. Okay. Okay, can we have the next name? So we have our winner's name here right now. And we have Ma'am Girly. Teammate and seven members in your source, please. Eight. Ma'am Evelyn Piwipiri, please nine. And finally, Ma'am Jeneline Borja, please 10. Okay. So congratulations to our top 10 quiz winners. Okay, so dear winners, you'll get your winner certificates from our Facebook program. Okay, so now we are moving to our next session, that is QA. So meanwhile, don't forget to get ready to ask your question to our honorable speaker. So dear participants, we'll meet you to the next session, that is QA, after this short video. our Q&A session. So I have a question from one of our participants that he wants. I saw this when you're sharing your presentation. It's from Sarmi A. Okay. Can I have your reference,
Oh,
or
yes.
no?
Yes, yes. The references, I'll forward it to IGP. So IGP can forward to all, the IGP can forward this to our dear participants.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So let's see. You have any question or not? Let's see. So, dear participants, actually, comments, and our speaker is ready to answer. Okay, so here is a question. Students understand how to make sense of it's from Nirvana.
Uh, Students understanding how to make sense of the world. Is that a question? Okay, if I'm going to give meaning regarding on the statement of our participant, Ma'am Hannah. Okay, students understanding how to make sense of the world. Of course, in connection with our topic, the inquiry-based learning with ICT integration, they should have a sense of using it in order to learn new something, new set of knowledge, and maximize the use of the technology today, not only for entertainment, not only for self-satisfaction, but also to help them to grow, learn, and educate themselves with new set of skills and knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And next question is from Eileen Perry has between inquiry-based learning and problem-based learning. Please clarify. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So, Ma'am Evelyn, your question, I mentioned this in the presentation, but as I remember my previous talks with Institute of Global Professionals, it's my third time actually, and one of my first talk about in IGP is the problem based learning, PBL, and today I discussed the inquiry based learning. PBL is somehow different from inquiry based learning because PBL is a set of activities designed for months or a semester. Therefore, we are giving the set of activities to our learners in a specific weeks. These are the tasks that they will do. Then at the end of the semester, they need to comply with the activity and finish all the activities. Therefore, there's a completion. Like for example, a courseware. For example, week one. This is the week one topic. Then they need to take the quiz. Then on the other week, another set. So that's the PBL. And at the end of the day, there's a project. That's why it's called project-based learning. On the other hand, the inquiry-based learning is a kind of learn strategy wherein we are giving set of questions to our learners through questions, explorations, and collaborations, and finding new solutions. So, what's the connection between the inquiry-based learning and the PBL? Of course, those skills that we can see on the inquiry-based learning are present also with project-based learning. It is just the inquiry-based learning is part of our everyday dealing with our learners. While the project-based learning is as they perform the activity, as they perform the project, they are dealing it alone or we are just guiding them to perform the said project. So that's the difference between the the inquiry-based learning and the project-based learning. But they are almost related to each other. That's why some experts, some curriculum writers tells us that inquiry-based learning and the project-based learning are somehow cousin to each other because the features are almost the same to each other. Thank you. Thank you, Ma'am Evelyn.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, Arnold, Ryan, for sharing your knowledge and your precious time in IGP with our participants. We are really honored to have you, sir. Thank you so much once again. So,
Thank
do you have
you.
any message for our participants?
All right. So I'll give a short message. Again, don't be afraid, my dear participants, my dear educators, my colleagues in the field of education. Don't, don't be afraid to use different strategies in delivering quality education. If there is another strategy, another set of learning, let's try to apply this. That's why the IGP is, I salute IGP in hosting different kinds of sessions that produces this kind of webinars wherein, or these sessions wherein, this is a way to open us to new set of knowledge, new set of learnings. And what good for IGP? This is all free. This is all free. Therefore, what we are waiting for? Join with the sessions of IGP. Then what you have learned, apply that on your teaching. It will only help, it will not only help your learners, but it will also help you as a person, as an educator. And again, let's grow together, let's learn together. Thank you so much, my dear participants, and thank you, IGP, again for this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Have a great day, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much to our host. Thank you,
Thank you,
ma'am.
sir. So, dear participants, we are moving to our certification process. So, before moving to our short Thanksgiving to you. Yes, so this is our certification process, and today's program name is Information and Data Literacy for Inquiry Based Learning. And the code is IGP4102. Let me tell you once again, the code is IGP4102. And without this code, no one is eligible for certificates. And with code, you can claim your certificates anytime. And you can also visit our website. Our website address is www.eduigp.com. So visit our website and collect your certificates, and don't forget to celebrate with IGP. And you can also see our new website, that is job login. We already posted the link in our comment box, and our new page, that is IGP Kids. So don't forget to give a thumbs up to our new IG page and our new website. Don't forget to visit our new website. Okay, so dear participants, thank you again for your participations and your cooperations. Okay, I'm inviting to all of you to our next webinar in the evening, so don't miss it. And collect your quiz winner certificates from our Facebook official page after the program. So till then, everyone, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep learning with IGP. Thank you once again. I'm signing off, Nasri. Signing off right now. Thank you, everyone.